Once more set your garments back in makers that hip jump has at any point introduced the strong man resided fine people make some commotion for hip bounce history. Applause. There is one more VIP standoff around people, since Will Smith is raging at, in all honesty, entertainer professional Dave Chappelle. It seems like the dramatization encompassing won't Smith ever stops. And this time things have taken an unforeseen curve. The new ruler himself is a long way from satisfied with Dave Chappelle, to the degree that he's pondering legitimate activity and considering suing the satire legend individuals. I didn't hurt it actually damages. Will Smith is essentially greater than me same side. I understand what you're figuring hold up, aren't Will Smith and Dave Chappelle pals? Well, they used to be nevertheless. There's been a few blending strain between these two. And it appears as though Will is prepared to strike back my virtual entertainment presence is my meat and potatoes oak. So you can't simply involve me for virtual entertainment. And not don't begin roll I'm remaining in my home. Now you may be asking, how could Will Smith resort to legitimate activity? Mightn't the stars at any point resolve things over some espresso or a cordial round of b-ball? Well, we'll need to sit back and watch how this unfurls. Perhaps it's all an unfortunate mix-up. Or maybe there's more going on than meets the eye. For what reason did you hit that man? Uncle, will you realize, damn it, damn you, for what reason are you attempting to Oprah me? So how about we investigate what drove us to this point? Quick forward to Dave Chappelle's parody visit, where he united with his sidekick, the comical Chris Rock, during their show in the dynamic city of Liverpool. Something happened that set Chappelle thinking about something irrelevant about Will Smith's scandalous Oscar slap. Dave Chappelle couldn't avoid sharing his contemplations on the episode, where Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, finally years Oscar service, breaking the darling Hollywood persona that the Lord Richard star had worked over his famous lifetime, as per the message during their Liverpool execution. Chappelle commented, Will did the impression of an ideal individual for a very long time, and he ripped his cover off and showed us he was essentially as monstrous as most of us. The web totally lost it at this and went for it, carrying on this wave made of dramatization and hypothesis. This individual said its flawlessness that Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle, and Chris Rock are companions, and did an enemy of Will Smith. Bit since you can see each of them, three stay on some unacceptable side of history. By that a single truth one more added, Will Smith ought to be permitted to slap Dave Chappelle to this individual idea, assuming an individual discussion's terrible about you in bar public, as opposed to protecting that individual, is certainly not a genuine companion. That companion can say that Will and Chris ought to have dealt with it better, yet that companion could never ring in and slam him at his family. Further yet, Chappelle explained that he would rather not witness Smith reproducing an exterior. Anything the results are, I want to believe that he doesn't return his bail on once more, and allows his genuine face to inhale. Chappelle communicated. He likewise added, I see myself in the two men. Chappelle entertainingly jested that when Smith struck Rock only minutes prior to getting quite possibly of Hollywood's most esteemed grant, it was like he had gotten back to his old neighborhood. Many individuals fail to remember who Will Smith is. Chappelle remarked then 10 minutes before he was going to get the greatest awardee, he behaved like he was back in Philadelphia. To give some setting, Smith got the Best Entertainer Oscar not long after slapping Rock. The joke that prompted the occurrence included Smith's significant other, Jada Pinkett Smith, who Rock cleverly referenced had a shaved head. Because of her alopecia, Smith won the Oscar for his exceptional depiction of Richard Williams, the dad of Venus and Serena Williams, in the rousing movie Ruler Richard. During his profound acknowledgement discourse, he was sorry to the foundation for the slap and attempted to make sense of his activities, saying adoration will cause you to do insane things, yet he didn't specify Rock by name during the satire show in Liverpool. Chris Rock additionally examined the episode, supposedly let the group know that Smith hit me over a joke, the most pleasant joke I at any point told. I mean, nothing unexpected. he's having an irritated outlook on Dave Chappelle, causing jokes to his detriment. Who wouldn't to feel a piece irritated when somebody begins tearing into them in broad daylight? Here's the thing: Will Smith has painstakingly created a picture of himself as a magnetic and faultless Hollywood symbol with his extraordinary jobs in blockbuster films. An evident appeal, he has a remarkable standing, so when Dave Chappelle takes a swing at him during a live show, it's reasonable that it could sting a piece in vision. Imagining Will's perspective, briefly picture hearing Chappelle discuss how you've uncovered your defects and broken the veil of flawlessness. It will undoubtedly cause anybody to feel powerless, particularly in the wake of endeavoring to keep a particular public picture. It resembles having every one of your flaws featured for everybody's viewing pleasure. And that can annoy somebody, yet we should confront it. Will sort of brought this upon himself. I mean, you can't hit somebody on global TV and hope to pull off it. Sure, Chris Rock was really lenient about the entire thing. He didn't squeeze charges or fight back. Yet Will can't anticipate that everybody should deal with the circumstance as effortlessly as Chris did. Gracious. And we should not fail to remember Chris made all in all a fortune with those parody specials. Yet we should set that to the side for the present. And here's another justification for why I think Dave Chappelle has a point in expressing out loud whatever he said. He turned out to be a casualty of an assault himself, all since Will Smith guarded Chris Rock's kid about Jada Pinkett's alopecia at the 2022 Oscars. Now it seems like Chappelle has turned into the most recent objective of a dramatic assault during his exhibition at the Netflix is a joke celebration inside the space of seconds. An individual from the crowd surged the stage, wrecking Chappelle and leaving everybody in shock. Individuals immediately got their cell phones to catch the turmoil. The aggressor made a quick departure, leaving everybody confounded. Fortunately, security acted expeditiously, pursuing and effectively capturing the aggressor away from the stage. The individual must be removed on a cot with wounds to their arm and face. This occurrence has ignited restored conversations about the weakness of entertainers and the surprising turns that live shows can take. Right when we assumed we had seen it all, Hollywood figures out how to shock us. Really, certain individuals saw this approaching after the assault on Will Smith, and the consequence of Dave Chappelle's dramatic attack fingers were pointed and hypotheses emerged about the purposes for this upsetting pattern. And you understand what many are pointing those fingers straightforwardly, voluntarily. Smith, this individual, tweeted, "I accept Dave Chappelle couldn't ever have been gone after assuming won't Smith ever punched Chris Rock." Smith set the risky trend in Hollywood's yellow response, advised the world it's ok to go after humorists. This individual added, "We as a whole realize that Will Smith slapping Chris Rock over a joke would start a hazardous